Here's a number that should worry you. Most production JavaScript bugs come from one tiny thing, an object that didn't have the property your code expected. You typed user.email instead of user.email, and nobody caught it until a customer did. TypeScript fixes this at its core with two simple tools: object types and interfaces. By the end of this video, you'll define the exact shape of your data and let the compiler reject anything that breaks the contract before your code ever runs. Let's start with the problem. In plain JavaScript, objects are wild. You can add any property, misspell any key, and JavaScript happily shrugs and runs anyway. That freedom feels great until your app breaks at 2 a.m. TypeScript gives objects a shape, a blueprint that says exactly which properties exist and what type each one holds. Here's a normal object in JavaScript. It has a name and an age. Looks fine, right? But watch what happens when I access user.me. A typo. JavaScript returns undefined silently and keeps going. There's no warning, no error. That undefined will travel deep into your app and cause a crash somewhere far away from the actual mistake. Now let's do the same thing in TypeScript with an inline object type. After the variable name, we add a colon and describe the shape in curly braces. Name is a string, age is a number. Now when I try to read user.nme, TypeScript stops me instantly with a red squiggle. The error appears as I type, long before the code ever runs. That's the whole superpower. Inline types work, but imagine writing that same shape in 10 different functions. You'd repeat the whole thing every time, and if the shape changes, you'd edit it in 10 places. That's painful and error-prone. We need a way to name a shape once and reuse it everywhere. That's exactly what an interface does. Meet the interface. Use the interface keyword. Give it a name. Convention says start with a capital letter. Then list the properties inside braces. Notice there's no equals sign. Now user is a reusable type. Anywhere you need that shape, you just write user. Define once, use everywhere. If the shape changes, you edit one place and the whole codebase updates. Think of an interface like a contract or a checklist at airport security. The object must have every required property with the right type or it doesn't pass. Here, I forgot the age. TypeScript immediately complains that the age property is missing. The contract wasn't fulfilled, so the deal is off. This is enforcement, and it happens automatically. It's not just missing properties. If you give a property the wrong type, the contract breaks too. Here I set age to the string 27 instead of the number 27. TypeScript catches it. A string is not assignable to a number. Quotes matter. The compiler reads your intent and holds you to it. Sometimes a property isn't always there. A user might have a phone number or might not. Add a question mark after the property name to make it optional. Now an object with a phone is valid and one without a phone is also valid. But if you do provide it, it still has to be a string. Optional means it can be absent. Not that anything goes. Some properties should never change after creation, like an id. Mark them with the read-only keyword. You can set the ID when you create the object, but try to reassign it later, and TypeScript blocks you. This is great for IDs, configuration, and anything that must stay constant. It's a lock on that single property. Here's where interfaces really shine. Use one as a function parameter type. This greet function accepts any user. Inside, you get full autocomplete. Type user dot, and the editor suggests name, age, and phone. No guessing property names, no typos. The interface documents your function and protects it at the same time. Real data is rarely flat. A user has an address, which is its own object with street, city, and pin code. You can nest object types directly inside an interface. Even cleaner, define a separate address interface and reference it. This keeps each piece small and reusable. Now, if address ever needs a new field, you change address alone and every user benefits. Interfaces aren't just for data. They can describe behavior too. You can declare methods, a function that lives on the object. Here, our user has a getLabel method that takes no arguments and returns a string. Any object claiming to be a user must now provide that method. This is how interfaces describe both what an object has and what it can do. Now imagine an admin is just a user with extra powers. Instead of rewriting everything, an interface can extend another. Admin extends user, so it automatically gets name and age, then adds its own permissions field. This is composition. Build bigger contracts from smaller ones. It mirrors real relationships. Every admin is a user, plus more. What if you don't know the property names ahead of time? Like a dictionary of country codes to names. An index signature handles that. This square bracket syntax says any string key maps to a string value. Now you can add as many entries as you like, and TypeScript still ensures every value is a string. It's flexibility with guardrails. Here's a subtle rule that trips up beginners. When you assign an object literal directly, TypeScript also rejects extra properties it didn't expect. I added a role field that user never declared, and it errors. This catches typos like email versus email. The contract says these properties and only these. No surprise extras allowed in a fresh literal. You'll often see another way to name shapes, the type alias, using the type keyword and an equal sign. For describing object shapes, interfaces and type aliases are nearly identical. The rule of thumb? Use interface for object shapes that might be extended and use type for unions, primitives, and more complex combinations. For most everyday objects, either works. Just stay consistent across your team. Here's one thing only interfaces can do: declaration merging. If you declare the same interface twice, TypeScript merges them into one. Both windows' worth of properties combine. This is rare in everyday code but powerful when extending types from libraries. It's a key reason interfaces still exist alongside type aliases. Let's prove this works at compile time. Run the TypeScript compiler, TSC, on a file with a broken contract. The compiler refuses to emit and prints the exact error, the file, and the line number. This is the safety net. The mistake is caught here, in your terminal, not in front of a user. That's the entire promise of TypeScript in one screen. Let's combine everything into one real-world example. A product interface with a read-only ID, a name, a price, an optional discount, a nested category, and a method to format the price. This single contract now documents the data, powers autocomplete, and blocks every invalid object across your whole app. One interface, total clarity. That's how professionals structure TypeScript projects. And there it is. You can now shape any object in TypeScript with confidence. You've gone from silent JavaScript bugs to compiler-enforced contracts. The interface is one of the most used tools in real TypeScript codebases, and you now understand it fully. Practice by typing the data structures in your own projects. The more shapes you define, the more bugs vanish. Quick recap of the 3 big things you learned. 1. Object types and interfaces define the exact shape your data must have. 2. Optional, read-only, nested, and method properties let you model real-world data precisely. And 3. The TypeScript compiler enforces these contracts automatically, catching mistakes before they ever reach a user. Next up in the TypeScript track, we tackle union and intersection types. combining shapes to model anything. If this made interfaces click, smash subscribe and drop your biggest TypeScript question in the comments. We read every one. See you in the next lesson.